we're back in the studio with Ty Wilson, and he's going to bring us up to date on some of the administrative things that are going on and let us know what's going on in Green Spring generally.
Yes. So, can I go ahead and just kind of
Please.
go at it, I guess. So, number one, I wanted to start off by thanking all of our residents for taking the resident satisfaction survey. It really meant a lot to us to get just good resident feedback on where we're at to date for a lot of things, and that's really the only way we can, resolve a lot of these issues and concerns. And so, thank you for all the feedback. We haven't got the results yet, right. And so, but I look forward to going through all the verbatims with Chandra and Melissa and the team, just kind of seeing where we're at. So. It was a long road. We know this year they did a little different survey coming in the envelopes, and it was different for residents, but we hope to get some best practices and lessons learned and be able to look for a better survey next year in that connectivity with residents. So moving right along, I know Cox, right? Cox has probably been the biggest thing that's going on in campus right now, and no one seems to have the right answers, I guess, but I'm here to kind of provide a little clarity for residents at ease. So, number one, a lot of residents are coming into the administration offices asking questions about, whether they should provide their social security number or not, what is the overall process. Right. And what I've been explaining to residents is that, Erickson is in a partnership. Our primary goal was to be able to provide better internet and better cable service to our residents. And so that was the decision making of switching from DirecTV to Cox. But we knew there would be some bumps in the road. We knew getting it implemented to all the residents on campus, yes, it was going to be a little crazy. And so some lessons learned. We all got some communication from Cox, and I think there's just been some miscommunication, or rather, about whether or not you needed to provide your social security number or not. And so kind of the latest and greatest I've been hearing from residents is that, if you choose not, I talked to Cox, and I know Lynn and her team has been talking to Cox and Gary, the feedback, and Chandra as well, and kind of the feedback we got is, it's about the equipment, and, they tie the equipment to the residents, of course, like any rental agreement.
Sure.
And if you choose not to want to provide your social security number at that time, I believe they're giving residents the option to pay a deposit. I think you have to go to Cox to be able to do so and provide two forms of identification, but there is an option whether or not you want to leave your social security number.
It's a little late to be getting that information, though.
Maybe a little late, but again, we apologize. We didn't, foresee a lot of these things, and our job, I think, as administration with GS and everyone, is to really just kind of get to the core root of the causes and provide a solution. Even if it's not the solution that is people want to hear, we will get to the bottom and try to provide some level of
I think
comfort.
the biggest question right now is how soon is are the in-house channels going to be included?
Good question. We are working on that. We don't see it being too much longer. I know a third-party company has to be involved. I don't know all the granular details about it, but I know another company is going to come in and kind of install that piece. So hopefully it's not too much longer. I won't give you an exact date because I don't have the exact date, but I know it's coming, and that's at the top of our to-do list when it comes to getting this entire transition rolled out in the cable. So I also wanted to mention that, I know residents received a letter in the mail, and they was like, what is this letter, about billing? It's a little confusing. And so again, number one, the basic cable is, of course, covered under your monthly fee, your bill, whatever.
And I think the robocall kind of covered that pretty well.
Yes, I just want to provide a little clarity that this is just letting you know that if you signed up for, a paperless billing, that, just because the account is owned by the resident, you're going to receive some notification or statement, but that doesn't mean that you're getting a bill per se. Right. And so it's just a blanket statement that just keeps you abreast on what's going on with Cox. Sometimes they send you promotions and things like that, but it's nothing to be alarmed of. It's not an extra bill or anything. Right. It's just letting you know that they wanted your information to be able to send you things pertaining to your Cox account. So that's it for Cox. If you have any questions, definitely the best people to go to is number one, GS First, and Lynn and Gary and their team, the project managers who's running that, are the best resource to give you those answers. But if you do have any questions and you need us to help you navigate through the process,
so call General Services if you have a question. Okay.
So construction, of course, was going on. We got construction everywhere on campus.
You know what we'd really like to see is on those windows over on the other side is a nice picture of what it's going to look like.
Yes, and I know I told residents, I believe one time I was on a segment that we're in the process of getting these wonderful renderings done, and that is still happening. We had a little delay in it, but we project to probably get them within the next week or so and get them up. Chandra's asked me to put the actual smaller rendering boards up, so
that would be great.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to have those put up. Looking at the timeline, I just didn't want to put those up and then have to take them back down. But I'm going to talk to Melissa in our corporate office, who's having these wonderful renderings done for the actual drywall that's inside, the fence that's outside. I have some renderings on it as well, and so I'll kind of judge that. And if it's taking too long, I'll go ahead and get those smaller renderings put up as soon as possible for residents. So
we
they can see kind
stand
of
there
what's
and look
going
at
on.
it, and we see this big pile of dirt, and we see all these big trucks. Can't figure out what in the world they're doing.
I know a lot of residents ask all the time. I've had an increased amount of resident family members call me and come in just wanting to know kind of what's the overall construction plan. And anybody who's come in and talked to me, I'm excited about sharing it, because I do think our long-term plan is to provide a better environment for our current residents and future residents. And so I was just going to give a brief kind of update on where we're at. I meet with the resident design team last Friday and kind of update them, and I wanted to just kind of share. So, of course, the PNC Bank was turned over. We did get some feedback around the PNC Bank chairs and things like that. So we did communicate that up because they don't have the rails on them. So we did communicate that up to the PNC.
They need those, yeah.
Oh yeah, team. Now we don't do the actual internal design for PNC, just as CVS, where they're in a partnership with us, and so they have full design over their venues. But we have been proactive in communicating with them to make sure that they look in the kind of style chairs they have for residents. The mail room is in its final stages of being completed.
It looks beautiful over there.
It looks wonderful. In November, we have to do a conversion, so we got to get you your new mailbox keys and take back the old mailbox keys. And so we're working with United States Postal Service and looking at better options to get that to the residents. So that'll take place, of course, in November, and we'll get that transition done. The reason for that is that we need to kind of get in there and start to work for CVS that's coming. And so CVS is looking at starting their construction in December. So one of the major changes is that at the administration office, where Chandra, Priscilla, Melissa, and myself is currently at, we'll be moving right over here to Village Square.
Right.
And so to allot time for the construction for CVS to begin. So that'll start taking place in December. You'll see a wall that goes up. And so they'll start starting that lobby work downstairs. Residents has asked me about the bathrooms that are going on downstairs, where we're at today for that. That is not going to start with the current construction of the lobby. We wanted to make sure that that kind of gets under a separate permit so we can get those bathrooms turned over very quickly. We don't want the same thing, and we lessons learned. The bathrooms upstairs across from Fireside. We heard you. We heard you.
That has been a mess.
So we just want to make sure that we can get those bathrooms done very quickly and get them turned back over to residents. But good news about the bathrooms upstairs is that we are working very hard to get those turned over first. So we should see those get turned over probably within the next week or so. Cross our fingers, knock on wood. Of course, I heard Jason talking about the Potomac Cafe. That's going to be awesome when that gets opened up. The elevators under construction upstairs currently, that looks to be turned over complete around January of 2020.
Very good.
And so the Fitness and Aquatic Center, we've had questions about that. A lot of great construction going on outside. I see a lot of residents enjoying the construction. That is still scheduled to be done in November, December of 2020. So there's some time left to go with that. The Cork and Fork restaurant is still scheduled for October 2020 of next year. We're looking to probably get that back a little sooner as well, so that we can continue with the dining experience. The library that's currently under construction, hopefully residents that are like to enjoy reading are going down to GT 114.
And they have a beautiful setup there.
Yes, and thank you to our hardworking project managers. Cindy, of course, took spearheaded that and kind of got it up and running for residents. So we're very proud of being able to make a temporary space for residents to still be able to enjoy. And then, of course, I mentioned the parking deck is still March of 2020. We understand we have a lot of parking concerns on campus. We're working through them. We're hoping residents can be patient with us. We do anticipate, additional parking spaces that come on campus that can free up some of the overall parking on campus. But every single day we meet about better ways to have better parking on campus, not only for our resident experience, but their family members and guests as well. Right. So that's kind of going on. The PS Salon is also scheduled, so all of you who are looking to get your hair done for Thanksgiving, we're hoping to get that back open prior to that as well. And so I've been in contact with the PS Salon's leadership. They're excited to get back in, so that'll reopen in November as well.
Very good.
And so that kind of takes care of kind of what everything we got going on in campus. The craft room is going to be a wonderful visual arts room, so we added some AV. We're going to bring out the Kilden doctors to come test everything, make sure it's up and running. We added some additional drawer space for residents to store their art. We did a walkthrough of it the other day. We're dedicating the wall that's across from it to resident art, so that's going to be awesome to see, just some of these beautiful paintings that we see residents do every single day. And so we're moving right along. Bear with us as we go through all of this construction. Garden Ridge construction is on time as well. That's going on as expected. So we got a few more years to go, but when it's all said and done, it's going to be a beautiful space for residents to be able to enjoy.
Sure. And we'll have maybe a year or two to rest before it starts again.
Before we start something else, but yes, and I think all of our heads are kind of at its max. And so another wonderful thing I'm not going to take away from GS. I know when Lynn gets on here, she'll probably share some of the good news. We were able to hire an assistant director for GS as well to kind of help with a lot of the things that residents has been bringing to our attention. So just having an extra hand. Cameron Bridges is his name. He started actually today, so if you see him, give him a warm GSV welcome to the campus. Very excited about what he can bring to the table. A lot of military background, was a chief engineer for the Army. And so, got a lot of experience and a lot of good talent. I think he can help elevate the GSV experience as well.
Great. Sounds like everything's going well.
Sounds like it is.
Okay, thank you so much, Ty.